In this episode, we'll learn about interior two-point perspective. And as we've learned in beginner's course, interior two-point perspective had two different ways. The first one is that we put both of our vanishing point outside of the paper, and the next one, we place one of them inside and the other one outside. So the first one is like if we have a line here. The first part, both of our vanishing point is outside of the paper. But in the second one, the first one is inside the paper and the second one is outside of the paper. If you draw a line from here, we'll have a corner. Like this. But in the second one, we draw this one. And the second vanishing point is inside the paper, which can create a perspective like this. We use these two techniques in interior two-point perspective. But let me explain a couple of things. This line that we have, which is our horizon line, is the same height as our figure's height. So we can place all of our figure's head on this line, exactly like one-point perspective. When you're placing your vanishing point, if you place this higher, that means you are looking downwards. Same thing that we talked about in interior one-point perspective. So if you have an area like this, the height of a person is this much, but we place our horizon line there. It's like that we are in the second floor. And center corners. Now we are standing in the second floor. And now if you want to design and add any details inside this area, all of them will go to this vanishing point. For our first practice, so we've learned two angles here. Let us review the first one. We have the corner, two angle, and the second one we have a surface and another angle outside. As for our first practice, I'm going to draw an area like this. We place two vanishing point outside. We can go down as the height of a person, go up the rest. So we are drawing spectator view. And now we want to experience together how to add volumes or remove some areas. And in order to do that, we need to understand what surfaces are made of. For example, if we put that X and the other one as Y and the middle one as Z, this surface is made out of Z and Y. So for designing, we send it to Z and Y, and in order to give it depth, we send it to X. Again, the back side with Y and Z. And what will happen if you want to go outside? We draw it with Y and Z, and this time we go the opposite direction of X. Like this. And as you can see, this part just came out. Now let's repeat this a couple of times so we can learn it better. So we need to add and remove so much so we can do it very easily. And here I'm going to draw it again. We send it to Y, Z, Y, Z, and by using x-axis we go inside. And like this. Again, we've cut out another area. It could be a window, it could be a shelf, or whatever you want it to be. So it happened like that. Now let's bring some volume out. Again, we are using those two axes and we go against the x-axis to give it some volume. Just like that. Now, again, let's repeat the same process next to it as well. Y, Z, and send it towards x-axis. The top side can't be seen now. So we've just created these bumps and this hole here. Let's do this on the other wall. Here, we use x-axis and z-axis, and we can give it depth or cut it by using y-axis. You go inside however you like and close it with x and z-axis, just like that. And we can add a little hatching in different direction to show it better. Again, we send it towards x, use z, and we go back inside by using y-axis. Like this. We could hatch it or we could leave it as it is. Again, vertical, send it towards x, again vertical, and now this time we want to go out. We want to go against the y-axis. After a little distance, we close it vertically, send it to x-axis, and just like that, we've created a bump. So this could happen very easily in different angles and in different surfaces. We could even make something more complicated. You need to do this so much that you can master it. Because when you are sketching and when you're designing something, you shouldn't think about this type of stuff. And think about how you should create bumps or cut some areas. And in the times that you are drawing furniture, you need to do this a lot. So we are repeating this in different areas and different angles. Sometimes we can place them next to each other or we can mix them with each other. What do I mean by mixing? As it's going out, we can create an area that goes back inside, like it's hollow. Same thing can happen on others as well. And don't forget the floor. You can practice the same thing by using these axes on the floor as well. Now we use x-axis and y-axis to design the frame, and we can use z-axis in order to give it depth or give a bump to it. So we have a box like this. And it's the same story if you want to dig a hole in the ground here, like this. We go down vertically and just like that. And on the ceiling, it's the same thing as the floor. You need to repeat the same process so much that you are used to this. And if you want to design the same thing on the ceiling, it's the same story. We design the frame by using y-axis and x-axis and give it depth or a bump by using z-axis. Try to do this practice in different angles so you're used to this. And now for the next thing, the next practice that I can give you guys, which is very important. In order to get used to drawing furniture, we need to draw boxes first and draw the frame of furniture. Maybe you think it's easy, but when you place a couple of them next to each other, or cut something out of it, or add something to it, it's a little complicated. First, we get the frame by using these and send it to the vanishing point. We have the first box here. Now for the second one, we want to design it in the air. It's like anterior perspective. And why are we drawing them? Because first we need to get the box for our furniture, for the lighting, or whatever that we want to design, and then we can add the design and add the details inside these boxes. And for the next box there, use your vanishing point and just like that, another one at the top here. And like this, send it to your vanishing point. You can add a little hatch underneath surfaces to show them better. Now some more at the bottom as well. So as we have these, draw some lines in this way. Try to do it so much that your hand is used to it. So when you're drawing, you're not even thinking about these stuff. And these boxes later on will help you a lot to distinguish objects, to understand them, add details, and many, many more. And the things that we did in isometric perspective, you can repeat them here as well. But first, you need to be able to create these boxes so you can use it later on. I'm gonna repeat the same process over and over again, and I want you guys to do it with me, many more. We need to do it so much that we are used to it. And here we've learned this. We've learned the previous one as well. And now let's mix them together. My first practice, add the second one automatically inside it as well, if you pay attention. We place both of our vanishing point. We go upwards. Send the corners to these vanishing point. Now let's create a couple of boxes on different surfaces. So I just want to keep doing it. It's like going outside, but here we can have it in the middle of our design. But anything that we do needs to be inside this frame. In the middle of this, we just created a box. We go here. and different angles, different size, we need to repeat the same process. Next to the wall, on the floor, on other surfaces. And like this we have it. The angle of our hatching is not important at the moment. I'm just using it to show what is happening and show the surface. Again in another angle, this time at the bottom. Again in other angles, look. So we analyze different angles and we create this type of volume inside them. And now that we have these volumes, we can create holes next to them as well, exactly like the previous practice. And we can even mix them together to place one of them next to the other one. Here we can mix it as well. On the opposite, the side as well. And here it's connected and the bottom part. On this wall, same thing. So all of this happened. Try to do it very precisely. Now, as for the next thing, that we need to analyze it together and check it together in the next episode is figures. Is how to replace figures and furniture inside our design. The practice that we've reviewed now together, that we did together, how to remove and add objects inside an area in different angles on different surfaces, try to practice them a lot so in the future episodes, when we're adding figures, we can use these next to them as well, and how to place figures inside the design and how to design furnitures.